I just wanted to come live real quick because it was going to take too much to type this all up. And I got a revelation the other day. And when I get little nuggets, I like to share it with you guys. It made a lot of sense to me. So hopefully it makes a lot of sense to you. I woke up out of my sleep and I was praying to God because, sometimes we wonder why He just doesn't like take us out of things like immediately fast because he's all powerful, right? He can just snap his fingers and then boom, we're out of the situation that we're in or out of the trouble that we're in. And so I was praying, I heard him say that, yeah, he could snap his fingers and yes, he could take you out of there like quick, fast, in a hurry. But if he did that for you every time you were in a situation or in a problem, how would that help us? How would that say, for instance, we were the ones who put ourselves in that situation in the first place, or we have these bad habits or these bad patterns or um, negative mindsets, whatever the case may be. And if he just removed him with snapping his fingers, then how does that benefit us? He gave me the analogy that, say, for instance, a person who maybe one of their things is they don't like to clean or they're lazy and or whatever the case may be, they're messy and they don't pick up after themselves. After a while, you'll have a really, really dirty house if you don't clean up after yourself, if you don't pick up after yourself, if you're messy, if you're lazy. And he said that he could come in there, right, and he could snap his fingers and the house would be clean. But in a few days, what will that house look like again? Because he didn't deal with the issue within us and he only dealt with the problem and the situation, we end up with a dirty house all over again. And he can keep snapping his fingers and he can keep cleaning it here and there, but then obviously we haven't learned what we were supposed to learn. We haven't worked on what we were supposed to work on in ourselves, and we end up, so to speak, with a dirty house again. So, long story short, when we are in these reoccurrent situations or even in situations sometimes and we're praying to God and we keep asking him, just take me out of this, take me out, snap your fingers, take me out. We want everything right now. I heard a pastor say one time, we are the microwave nation. Everything is so fast and we want everything so fast that we don't have patience to learn. We don't have patience to change what is in us. So when we're praying to God and we want these things to change, we need to pray that he changes the pattern in us that allows us to keep getting in these situations, or praying that he helps us to work through what we need to work through and learn what we need to learn so that we don't end up in those situations again. We don't want him to just come in, snap his fingers, and clean our house. Well, yes, sometimes I would, but we don't want him to do that. We want to learn what we're supposed to learn, and we want to work on ourselves, because once we work on ourselves and we stop him from working on us when we're asking and begging and paying only attention to the problem, the effects of the problem, which was rooted in us in the first place. So we really need to be asking, can you work on us? And we need to allow him to work on us and through us. And we need to have the patience to allow him to work on us, because like I said, we are the microwave generation and we want to change now. I have certain habits and patterns that I don't want right now, and I wish that I could just snap my fingers and they were gone, but that's something that we have to work through. And once you work through them and have God help you work through them, then you're useful to somebody else who's going to go through it. So you take that knowledge that you learned and you pay it forward to somebody else, so that when they're going through something and they need to change a habit, pattern, whatever, mindset, whatever it is, that they're not just focusing on God, just fix the problem, but they're focusing on God, fix me, so that we can fix the problem. And so that was kind of like a cool analogy that he showed me with the dirty house. Like he could come in there and he can just wipe it all away and everything would be sun sparkling, sunshiny again. But in a few days, if we don't fix us, if we're still messy, if we're still dirty, if we're still lazy, that house is going to be dirty again. And he did us no justice by helping us clean our house. Instead, he needs to help us with ourselves and to work through ourselves. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because it was way too much to type. And I'm sure you guys, if you're like me, you really don't want to read. So I hope y'all have a blessed day and pray that when you're in situations that, hi, that you really focus on where it's coming from. If there's certain things that need to be done, that you pray not only to take you out of the situation, but you pray that you learn what you're supposed to learn from the situation. And if you're the root of the problem, then you pray that God help me, and allow him to help you and allow him to work through you, and be patient that he's working through you, because what they say, bad habits take 30 days to change. So you're really going to have patience with yourself and patience with God as he's working through these things with you, so that you won't get yourself in these situations anymore. So thank you. Father, I just bless everybody that watches this video, and I ask, Lord, that you give them patience as they work through the things that are in themselves, that those things that are bothering them and those things that are hindering them from learning what they need to learn so that they can move on, that you will help them, give them the wisdom and the knowledge that they need to see past the problem and go inner self and help themselves to work through the problem, work through the situation, and that they can be a blessing to somebody else who is going to go through the same thing. I ask that you give them spiritual eyes to see, spiritual ears to hear, and the wisdom to know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, and to be able to focus on your voice only, and to be able to be patient with you and themselves as they work through this. God bless you guys. Amen. Bye.